Hello, neighbors. I think it's time for me to get in front of you. And since I haven't been able to see you out in the community or knock on your doors or really get any FaceTime at all, and we've all been busy also. You know, between you as either essential workers or folks who are sheltering in place and following all of the proper directives from the governor's office all the way down from my office here, we just haven't had a chance to interact. And I want to take this moment though to thank all of you. This has been a trial that none of us ever expected, and many folks will never ever experience. And you and we are all living through something that is so unique that it hasn't happened in our world since 1918. And we haven't been put to a test like this, easily to a test like this, since World War II. And what you are all doing is extraordinary. I have seen it, I've witnessed it, the results are coming in, they're showing a remarkable flattening of the curve. And I want to recognize this effort to date. But I also want to caution everybody that this is not a permanent situation where we flatten it and then we walk away. And I'll get into a little bit more of that later, but I do want to share with you how this experience has shaped me and my thoughts processes going in and where I'm coming from. You know, when I got to tell you, when we first started getting the news of the global pandemic as my role as a board member for Kitsap Public Health, it was late February. And although we'd been discussing it all year, it was starting to become more of an urgent scenario, an urgent potential or possibility. Early May, we began making decisions to put some protocols in place, which and this was leading up also into the federal and then state level protocols Governor Inslee has been putting in. And I will tell you, when I declared a state of emergency for the city of Bremerton, it did take me back to only one other time in my life, and that was on a combat ship in the Navy when I was serving at the time, and where we were called into combat zones. It was almost haunting, and it was eerie, the similar feelings I had with all of the things coming in at once and the preparations we were making. So what I want to do though is recognize that this is only me here at City Hall. Every single household and business has been doing the same thing. Sitting down, triaging either at your dining room table or at your office, at your round table where your directors meet, or for me at City Hall. Been sitting down and we were deciding how are we going to keep our businesses, our operations, our families running. And I liken this to the actual combat areas that I served in, where if we were to put it into a different analogy, it'd say we are in a combat zone. We are in the field, we're in the trenches, and we're surrounded. Okay, we're not surrounded by an enemy, we're surrounded by a virus. And we're entrenched though. So we may be surrounded, but we're entrenched and we've got each other's back. And we do have the ability to hold out as long as necessary. But we all know we can't hold out forever, or else we would not be asking for support from our federal and state partners. But we do know that we're all we have here locally. We're all we have until reinforcements come in. And so, as my job as mayor and supporting you, I'm not only managing the city in all first response, all law enforcement, all water and sewer and sanitation, managing contracts to ensure garbage is picked up. The things that you hopefully will not see a difference in. If we've done our jobs well, if myself and my directors and each individual employee's done their job well, you won't notice a difference. On top of doing that, I work with CENTCOM, Kitsap Public Health, Kitsap 911, and which is CENTCOM, and Department of Emergency Management daily. So in the trenches with you, my job is not only to manage the day-to-day operations of the city, coordinate with our regional partners to do the day-to-day planning for worst case scenarios, but I'm also, if we were in the trenches, I'm radioing out to our Senator, Patty Murray, and our Congressman, Derek Kilmer. And I do that often. In fact, I spent a half an hour with the Senator's office yesterday talking about all of our needs. So you do this in a battlefield. You radio out for, if it's the troops, you're hoping for ammunition, weapons, and troops. Now in our case, it's ventilators, testing equipment, and ultimately that vaccine. And so that's my role as mayor, and I know each one of you is doing the same thing, and it's why I'm so incredibly proud of you. You're either calling out to me for support when needed, you're calling out to family members. If it's a church that you belong to or another organization like some of our service clubs, Lions, Kiwanis, Rotary, you name it, there's so many of them. You're each leaning on each other in a way you've never leaned on before, and we're going to need more of that. As you know, as your mayor, I will be focusing on every single need of every single entity in this city. But I will be primarily focused on ensuring operations continue on your behalf, and every emergency scenario is completely covered. While I'm doing that and not necessarily looking your way, don't think that I'm not appreciating every single thing you're doing for us. If it's Kitsap Community Resources or the Salvation Army, each one of you is doing something to support our communities, support our members that are vulnerable, that no one else can do better than what you are doing for us. All of us working together, I'm doing this, you are doing your thing. We are counting on each other to have each other's back to perform these jobs to the absolute best of our ability, because right now, we're all we have. Now, we will all keep reaching out to our partners, and our partners are listening very closely, and they have been responsive. We will continue to communicate with them for stimulus money, for rental assistance, for small business assistance, for help with our utilities. That is coming. There are stimulus packages coming. As I said, a half hour with the Senator Murray's office yesterday, outlining all of our concerns. We need to be able to put people back to work. So in the short term, I'm asking all of you to be tolerant and patient with each other, to care about each other like you've never done before. We're in a new level, in a new time in our life, where we are going to need greater involvement, greater interactions, greater compassion and love for each other than we've ever had in our lifetimes here, and actually in several generations. We truly are making history here. We've got a long ways to go, but I'm proud of what we've done so far. I want to encourage you to keep it up. This virus won't go away after this first effort. When we emerge from this, it's going to look different, and our life will be different. And so we're in this for the long haul. This virus will be here until a vaccine is found. It will keep circulating through our community. But pulling together, staying strong, we're going to make it. And so count on me. I'm thinking with my staff and all of our local agencies, we are thinking 5 steps ahead. We are prepared for a number of worst case scenarios. We will continue operations. You can count on safe delivery of services. And I want you to know that I'm with you. So please keep fighting the good fight. I can't say enough of how proud I am to be a part of this team, to be with you and working for you, and just how pleased I am with all of you. So with that, I'm going to sign off. I will be connecting frequently, and I just thank you.